G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and this is part 2 of our Power of the Primes Terracons. This is Cutthroat. Now, I want to like this guy. He has some clever ideas, but there's like a couple of niggly things that just annoy the absolute shit out of me. This isn't the proper configuration for his wings. I just like the whole sort of half swoop, half mind wipe idea. So I just like my wings all flared out. If you want them a more standard style, you just need to fold them in there, fold these back, and we'll go through properly for transformation when we get him back into actual robot mode. Now, there is something I have to show with Cinetwin after, if I remember when I get up to it, but he does have the only one, excluding Hunger, because he doesn't have it at all from my experience, because he doesn't have the prime armor. If you have a look here, you have these two tabs. And I had a look at Cinetwin's, and he has it as well. But with Cinetwin, and I'll bring him back in, here he is here, all you do is you basically plug this into here. Cutthroat doesn't have that. He has his dino monster head. So what you're actually using is you're using these two ports for his head. So what you're going to do is just push his crest back. Doesn't need to be all the way. And you have the two tabs, like I said, and you have two ports. Leave your joint up. And you basically just want to line things up on both sides, and you're going to need them both lined up really to tab in. They're not really straight on, they're sort of angled. And there is Cutthroat with his power armor. Jesus Christ. With his prime armor. Now, there is something I forgot to mention with Cinetwins, like I said. You can take this piece out. And you can put a Titan Master in there. For example, we have wind blades that one of these days I'm actually going to look up the names, and you can just sort of, which way are we going? This way. You can slot it in there and it becomes part of the prime armor, which just looks stupid personally. But in saying that, you can actually use the handle as a gun. It is more of a rectangle in a round hole, but it is what it is. And of course, all of them can do that, excluding Hunger, because Hunger has something completely different. So we'll just put his hand back together. Hand, foot, whatever you want to call it. And there we go. So he has got a sort of nice gun, even though it refuses to go all the way in, and I am not... carving out his fist to make it fit even better, since I have these guys in combined mode. So yeah, not too bad. Although I remember the G1, which I don't know if it sort of has it. You have these sort of notches here because the whole barrel would actually flip out, which is different. So here we go. So let's get down to articulation. Head can do a full 360. Mine's rather tight. Doesn't really wiggle or tilt, so I think that's more of a twist than a ball peg. Arms can't do a full 360 because you're going to hit those wings, but they could if they weren't there. Arm goes out that far. You have upper bicep rotation. You have elbow. You do not have wrist because there is a pin there. You do not have fingers. You do, if you can get your hand in there. You have waist swivel. You do not have ab crunch. Leg goes up that far. Leg goes back that far, so all the way. Leg goes up that far. You do have upper thigh rotation and a little bit of ball there if you really need it. Knee bends pretty far up. I was going to say you could use that, but that's more for transformation. There's no ankle or toe. It is actually on an angle, which, now looking at Cinetwins, is kind of the same. And of course, Cutthroat has the added bonus of you can use the wings in robot mode, but we'll do the articulation for that in alt mode. All right, so here we go. Let's get this guy into alt mode, and this is where we're going to start seeing some of my little nigglings. So we're just going to lift up the arms for the time being, and you're going to flip out. So all this comes loose. I don't know if you can see it. And that's going to flip all the way up inside. Same on the other side. Flip all that up and tab those together. You're going to, we're going to do this, rotate the hands in. And you want to angle it so these are pointing back so that you have these pegs that are going to go into the side of the waist. So twist, bring it down, and you're going to angle that elbow till you plug in the side. Same on the other side. Just bend that elbow a little bit, peg it in, like so. Now the part that I rather hate. The pegs for the monster face, which are right here on both sides, are not deep enough that more often than not, you pull on it, at least mine, the whole head comes off. So my best bet that I've come up with for fixing that problem is squeezing the side of the head, not too hard, just enough that it's actually going to start the transformation joints off. And then bring that up and tilt it back. You can bring up the crest, and of course, you can do the mouth afterwards. All right, next we'll do the wings. So what we're going to do is fold out, and I'll probably show it better on this one. You got this little nubbin. That's where it's supposed to stop when you bring it in. And of course, you have the nubbin that would go in it. If you can see it right here. It's just going to sort of sit into this spot here. So you may need to lift a little bit out, and then, well, that one so that doesn't want to line up properly anyway. Excuse me. All right, then we're going to bring his tail back all the way down. It sort of just stops. And then we can bring the legs out. So we just bring down. There is, where is it? Is it this one or is it one of the other ones? Might be one of the other ones that you sort of have at a pegging point, but I don't think, no, Cutthroats doesn't have it. So we just want to angle that till we've got the legs somewhat angled. And there he is in his monster mode. So he does have a bit of articulation in this mode. You can, as I was showing before, bring out the arms. It sort of has a soft sort of tabbing point. Like you get to there and it sort of tabs in. But you can angle the wings out if you want. And you can bend them out or bend further out. Give them sort of a weird eagle mode. So there you go. Like I said, you got ins and back and forwards and ups and downs. That's up to you if you want to use that. You do have his legs, which would do a full 360, except wings get in the way. And of course, you have lower legs, which can go all the way up, but that's more for transformation. As for the head, once again, the head is the bane of my existence in this mode. You can look down that far, you look up that far. The original G1, which I have packed away, you could actually get the head straight on. That's one of the things I hate about this version. And some people might say, well, just shave a bit of the side here. That way it'll go further back. No, it won't, because then the top of the robot head starts rubbing against the plastic. So it's hitting in two spots. You can, if I can get it, you can open his mouth. which you're most likely, as you saw, pop it out. Like I said, it could be just my copy, but yeah, I just have so much trouble with this head. You can open and close. You can, of course, move the crest. And I've just popped his head off. Oh, good God. The one thing I hate about this bot is that head. So there we go. Now, there is one other thing that I forgot to bring up with Sinner Twin that I'll bring up with this guy too. Because he is a Power of the Primes figure, so he does have spots for your Titan Masters. So you have two here, if they'll fit. So you can have a Titan Master riding down there. You can have Titan Master on either side. I don't have a lot of Titan Masters, especially my spare room. So there's one there, there's one there. As for Sinner Twin, at least from robot mode, the only ones I found were the back here, one here and one here. I haven't really spotted any other ones. There's none under the tails or anything. So there is that. So yes, I forgot that in the Sinner Twin review that yes, it's a Power of the Primes figure, so it's supposed to have Titan Master compatibility. Now, this next step, I'm not quite sure how this works. I don't usually look up instructions, so I'm not 100% sure. But somehow we're supposed to be able to put this... I see it now. So you have those two ports again. So you plug those into the sides of the wings. I think it reaches. Does it reach? One does. The other one doesn't want to. One there. And I'm not sure. I would say that's how it works. They're angled though, and those aren't. I'm not 100% sure now. I would say that's how they plug in, but they're not angled, so I can't really see them plugging in properly. Unless it's because... Oh, I might have to actually spread the wings a little bit. Alright, let's try that then. So, you in there. And there we go. So yeah, you have to spread the wings a little bit to get the prime... Yeah, oh, I said it right, and then I tried to correct myself. To get the prime armor working. Now, you can, of course, put the gun into one of the holes, so you can have a whole backpack thing. But I did see somewhere, and I can't remember if it's in the proper instructions, you have this hole here, which is where you can also put the gun, which, due to how the beak works, if it was higher up would be fine, but not so much. And that's why it folded out. So the original toy didn't have a tail. So when you put the gun up here, you would fold out the gun, and that formed his tail. That's right. I really do want them to reissue the Terracons. I'm sure it's a big ask, but I wouldn't mind that. So let's get this guy into combined modes, and then we can get him back into alt mode. So since we're basically almost in leg mode, we're going to flip the tail up. We're going to bring those legs up and just pull them back a little bit, like so. Now, I usually try to lift these up a little bit in robot mode so the feet touch the ground, but since you're using combined joints, they don't have to matter so much. You're going to grab their head. We'll get under here and see if I can do it without popping all that off. Bring all this forward. Then we can come in here and we can flip up the combiner joint. We want to bring the wings all the way in. You're going to fold them and notch them at that little spot. And then you have these pegs that are going to go into these ports. So mine don't always want to sit in perfectly. So there we go. Although I have found one way to get around it a little bit is try to just bring those wings forward a little bit and get them to try and sort of sit between his toes. And it sort of works a little better. I don't know if it's meant to be like that. Could be why those are angled there, but it does still seem a little bit too thick. Anyway, then we take our foot and we angle. That don't seem right. What did I do differently? Oh, duh. I know why. Don't. Because we need the combiner foot. So that just plugs in there, and that is your leg mode. And of course, just like Sinnoh Twin, you can plug his fist into place to give him that added stability. So, whoops, I'm just throwing this guy everywhere. I think the problem is I'm a little bit further away from the camera than I usually would be. So there we go. So we'll take that out, and we'll need the rest of it in a minute. I was wondering why I was keeping that joint out. I put everything away, and then I was like, why did I keep that out? Anyway, now let's get into arm mode. So you're going to bring up the wings, like so. You're going to pull that back. Now, you can lift all this up if you want, or you can leave this where it is. Honestly, I think it looks better. Bringing the head back. Where did you go? Get on there. I would glue it in place, but then I'd somehow ruin it. All right, so I do prefer it that way, and it gives it a sort of dive bomb-esque look. So we're just going to fold the wings back for the moment. We're going to unpeg the arms, and we're going to open up the legs all the way down, even though sometimes it gets a bit stiff. And then we're going to slide these across, and it sort of locks into place. Like so. There's a tabbing point there, but do you think I can find it? Nope. And then we can plug the legs back together, and we'll make him a right arm. So like so. And then what you want to do is you want to just, where are you? You want to bend the elbow, and you're going to bring this tab, which would go into the side of the leg. Now, let me rephrase that to make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, so that's the leg one. This is the elbow one. That's going to come under, and it's going to plug into this port here. So just up and under. Up and under. And then same deal, you can bring these back to plug into the shoulders. And of course, then you can angle the wings how you want. You can have them straight out. You can fold them down. Well, a little bit down because then you start hitting hands. So we'll just leave them out like so. And then we can take our wonky hand without the feet this time. Plug that in the bottom. And then, of course, you can detach that if you don't want it. And there is Cutthroat in his arm mode. So you do get full all the way there. And you do get full all the way back. You're going to get a little bit more elbow if you go that way. But of course, then you're going to start hiding details. So just be aware of that. So there we go. Right, let's get back into robot mode. So take out the foot hand. We're going to rotate it around the front, and we can just split the legs because that's all done. And I'm just going to lift these up a little bit just so it makes the feet give it proper clearance. We're going to untab the arms, and then we can untab here and untab here. And I just noticed my head is all kinds of wonky, so it's probably going to pop off again. It's looking really weird. think I got it. Yeah. And I will say he does have one mode that doesn't quite work. Just bring these on. But he does have a mode that doesn't quite work with the others, except for maybe Ripper Snapper. But for those of you who used to watch Stargate Atlantis, there you go. There is his gold mode. So you can give him an animal head like Teal used to have his snake helmet and all the rest of that. So that's something if you want to do, although it makes it more interesting, especially since he is a monster former. So we're going to bring this down. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. We want to bring it down a little bit just so we can collapse the combiner peg. And then we push it back. Then I'm going to squeeze the sides of his head while holding the top of his robot head and bring all that down. Keep squeezing until it goes where it's supposed to go. And there he is, back in his robot mode. And as I said, you can have the wings how you want. You can fold them back. I just prefer them out, at least for the time being. So there we go. So as far out, I knew I forgot something. Be right back in a second. Heaven forbid if this had been a third-party masterpiece figure, I definitely would have done this. But there is Beast Mode again. Good God. And there it is with Windblade. Back to where I was up to. All right, here we go again. Good God. Here he is with MP10. As you can see, he's pretty small compared to MP10, but he is a Limbot. I think he was a deluxe, I want to say, back in the day. Going for the top of the head, I'd say he's just about Prime's crutch. So there we go. And something I don't do a lot of, not that I've done an awful lot of, well, I suppose I've done more than a few combiners. Here he is with Sinner Twin. So there we go. So that is the two technically leg bots. So there we go. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe or ring that bell. Leave me a comment. Hopefully I do a better job of the next one. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.